What would you do if you were the last person on earth but household utilities, water, electricity, internet, still work properly? Probably check out places that were previously off limits. Fort Knox, Area 51. See if there's really a hole of records underneath the Sphinx, seed bank, etc. Edit. I did mean the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, not bank. Travel around staying in mansions and cool places. Use the internet to learn how to fly a plane, so I can travel further, but I'd probably crash on my first try, so that would end things pretty quickly. Probably sleep and have a wank tbh. Comment last in every YouTube video. I would commence to wonder if all those utilities, water, electricity, internet, etc. worked on their own. Why did I pay all those monthly bills? I'd love to go into a store and break everything like that scene in Zombieland. Also move into Buckingham Palace. If the Eurostar is still running, I'd move into Versailles. Head to the Pentagon, NASA, and Area 51 and get a ride that can go find the rest of you for leaving me. Why? Go steal the keys to the best car I could, drive to Bev Hills/Hollywood Hills, and go live in my dream house. Break into houses and find drugs in spare time. Hunt for food. Animals would be in town shortly thereafter. Subsist on found drugs and meat. Live about 5 years like this before dying to something stupid, i.e. drug-induced heart attack, car accident, driving 300 miles per hour, etc. and not be able to do surgery on myself. Be satisfied. Food would be an issue, especially in the long run. Part of me says I'd try to work on a monument or something that proved humans once were here, because most of our structures will be gone in a few centuries. First, I would move more than 100 miles away from nuclear reactors, which means I'm going to a small coastal city in Mexico where the Pacific has no memory, and I would probably fish, maybe garden some fruits or whatever, and be able to relax. I would also probably end up putting a face on a group of soccer balls and talking to them all the time. I'd go to mission control and talk with the astronauts on the ice, who are probably freaking out about resupply missions and everyone on Earth being dead. Edit. Astronauts are actually extremely difficult to freak out, as they need to remain calm even in extremely taxing circumstances. But I suppose they could be very concerned, which is the normal person equivalent of freaking out. Edit 2. Wow guys, I'm flawed 7 years and 4 months and I finally made a popular comment. Thank you. 3. Edit 3. Thank you for silver, kind stranger. Edit 4. Thank you for gold or jixxa. I'd /u/tag directly, but I think the automod would delete my comment. Day and probably week equals made. Wank on the top of as many historical buildings as possible. Create a base of operations where I will be protected and can grow my own food. Utilities still working will be great, but you'd still be fucked in other areas. Fresh food in the shops will go bad. Eventually you'll only have canned/frozen goods left, and even those will have a shelf life. Animals will come back into the cities when there are no people or cars. COVID lockdowns have shown this already, so you'd need protection from the carnivores. Transportation will eventually be an issue. Fuel expires. I suppose you could get an all-electric vehicle and recharge that whenever, but you'll also need to know car maintenance, or just get a new car whenever, assuming there is ample supply. And other components like working car batteries will eventually be harder to get. Best place to set up would probably be something like a football stadium. Hello Last of Us 2. Plenty of land for growing food and farming animals, completely enclosed and with rooms to live in. If I could get all the food sorted out and can get over the fact that everyone I love is gone, I'd probably set up a routine of farming and video games. Rush to download as much media as I could connect to for as long as possible. Find local Best Buy, raid hard disk section for as many of their largest stock disks as I can find. Also take home surveillance camera system and 5 camera equipped quadroted drones. Download latest stable release of Freeness, Red Hat, Ubuntu, Arch, MacOS, Windows. Download Plex. Download Wikipedia hard copy. Download Python and a complete hard copy of the pip repository. Download Node-Edges, Angular, React and Vue, and if possible a complete repository of other popular JS libraries. Also get C/++ libraries. Build NAS rack. RAID 6 configured in a chassis that has as many hot swap slots as I can find. Using Google Maps survey local high price real estate areas for homes equipped with solar arrays, ideally the newest present, but with preference for them on homes that are resilient to weather damage. Ideally not in an especially precarious flooding or tornado risk position. After flagging some homes for in-person investigation, go review them in person. Try to find specifically a house with a battery system already installed. Move into this house when identified. Locate and retrieve multiple electric vehicles, an RV, and a larger work vehicle. Figure out how to long-term stabilize local gas station fuel tanks, and if feasible do so to as many as possible. Collect and freeze food at home to last as long as possible without overburdening battery system. Research and understand. 1. Medical care, initially focusing on injury treatment and eventually getting to dental. Cross fingers there's little or no need for this. 2. Basic electrician training, including my new solar system. 3. Per/u/hurricane KS excellent point. I should also learn C and C++ to prep for building devices to automate food production etc. Since those languages are generally the best fit for those applications, especially when you need them to be stable and fit on a small compute footprint. Then I can start learning some stuff for fun. Learn to sail, practice cooking and maybe explore wine. Enjoy my home streaming setup and explore filmography. Read. I'd thoroughly enjoy my free time and life, but would also research the least painful way to suicide. Since I'm the only person left, there are no doctors, dentists, and optometrists left to help me with any physical issues I have. In a year or two at most, I'm going to need new glasses, but won't have anyone to make them for me. My periodontal disease will probably flare up without my normal twice-a-year maintenance. Or I'll need a replacement crown or a new filling for a cavity. And since I'm middle-aged, I'm due for more aches and pains and other possibly more serious issues, with nobody to fix me or even diagnose the issue. I only take one medication, and it's fairly common, so I'm not worried about that. I figure I can have a nice year, maybe 2 before things start going south for me physically. Maybe I'll find a place that sells those real dolls, so I don't have to just whack off for my satisfaction. I might take an RV and explore some places and natural wonders I've always been curious about. Since the power and water are still on, I'll have an endless supply of food available in people's freezers. Since internet is still on, I'll have games, entertainment, and reference materials. I'll have to grab some guns for protection from animals, but should otherwise be okay there. So I'll have fun for a year or 2, then join the rest of you. Wander around, learn how to drive, easy enough, go into random people's houses and read their diaries / collect cool books and items, and when I get lonely then look up some chatbots on the internet to talk to until I get bored, then just wander around more collecting cool stuff and figuring out how to astral travel. Let's be realistic here. I'd first go to the nearest luxury car dealership near me and take the nicest car, probably a BMW. I live in a small city so not many nice cars. Then I'd find a nice mansion with some super unrealistic feature like a indoor pool, bowling alley and a simulator like flying / racing. Move in there and steal PC parts, monitors, TVs, game consoles, and probably find a nice dog to spend time with. Work my way through every movie and video from the last 20 years. After all that I'd realize I'm lonely and have nothing to do. Then in my later years I'd go searching for drugs / alcohol to help cope with the fact that I'm alone and will die that way, forgot by all. Gather food, medical and other survival supplies. Look for a home with plenty of land and irrigation. Start farming because the fresh food in groceries will start to rot. Adopt dogs so I won't feel alone. Write a book about what happened and why I was the only one left. Read what I wrote and upload as video. Stream daily videos of what is going on. The videos are for other civilizations to understand what happened and why humans became extinct. Browse through the internet on rest days. Alright, so I thought about this long and hard and here's my step-by-step plan of what I'd do. First, find a mall. Preferably one near a hospital or big pharmacy of some kind, because I have type 1 diabetes, so I need somewhere to go to get supplies for that, or that would be what kills me. Mall. This is where I will set up home base. There's bound to be furniture in one of the shops, meaning beds of all kind. I'd push all the beds together and get all the fluffy pillows and blankets and have a nice big nest. There's also bound to be an electronics shop with TVs. I'ma take 3 of the biggest high quality 4K TVs I can find, maybe more, and set up an entertainment system at one end of this bed/nest I made. The internet still works, so I'ma use the help of the internet to make the best most beefy gaming PC I can make and rig me up a nice system. I'll spend a few days and or weeks playing through all the games I haven't been able to sink myself into because of work. I'll even set up a little kitchen area somewhere in this room, or take my time going through the food court, look up online how to cook things, if I can't find any cheat sheets behind the counters. I'd also go through Netflix, Hulu and other streaming sites finally watching all those shows I wanted to watch. I'll even go into banks and wire money into my bank account, so I can buy and play any games I wanted to buy and play. In between doing all of that, I'm gonna go to animal shelters and let all the animals out. After a few months of playing all the games and watching all the shows and movies in my comfy nest bed with all my cats and dogs, the pack shall roam. I will become the leader of the animals, and we shall roam the deserted lands. No more movies or games will be made, so I'll focus on taking care of the animals and trying to search for and rescue any that were left behind. Eventually, I'll teach myself how to fly a plane using the power of the internet, and I'll go and visit places I've always wanted to visit. And when everything is done and the loneliness starts to really set in, I'll have all my pets and I'll take over a farm and live out my days. I'll modify the farm and train some of the dogs for my inevitable death, so that the cats and dogs won't get stuck in the house, and I'll rig up something for the doggos to use to let the farm animals out.